All right, people, get in here. We have got so much to do, so much to talk about, so much country to save. It is next level ridiculous, the things that we're about to attempt, but I'm pretty sure that we can get through it together. We've got all the tabs of freedom lined up. We are going to be distributing freedom, cutting through the propaganda like the knife Bug Bunny uses in the fog from the old cartoons, you know, like with all the propaganda. Yeah, you've seen there. You know what I'm talking about. All right, guys, as you get in here, make sure that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on, because the world is a-tumbling if your name is a Democrat, and it's a glorious thing to see. We're going to cover everything in this episode that you need to know. We're going to talk about the leftist mind virus that shifts narratives like we drink water. And then we're going to talk about the Dems getting screwed again by Chuck Schumer. And then, of course, I'm also going to say a little something for the ladies who get the prime position of honor in the first topic after we go through our initial humor point, which is required in this expedition of freedom. All right, people, make sure the audio is good, the video is good. As we're going into this, I see planes, notifications. That's good. Oh, housekeeping. You're right. Thank you for reminding me. Two things. One, that notification guy. Yeah, the notification bell lives in his mom's basement. He sits on her couch and he just eats Cheetos all day. I'm going to need you to share this, like this, engage, hit some comments, some chats, tell him to get up off his butt, dust off all the Tostito crumbs off his chest, and get to work, because that will not work, at least in our world. So if you guys could do that, that'd be great, because he needs some encouragement sometimes. All right, so you guys know how this works. You guys are getting notifications? What? Oh, man, count my lucky stars. Here we go. Chats. That's not the right word. Comments, emojis make the world go round. And you guys know how this works. Once it gets posted, we are off to the races. Early comers get the early rewards, early bird, whatever the phrase is. I'm trying to type and click, and it's not working out. You guys are chatting too much. I can't get my own thing. There we go. All right, cool. We are good. That is pinned. Off to the races. Okay, guys. As you know, if you are a veteran of this channel, you know very well that we always start off with a little appetizer, something to wet your whistle, something to get the creative juices flowing, a little bit of fun. So make sure that popcorn is ready. Make sure your beverage of choice is selected. We have got a lot of freedom tabs to go through, and this is the appetizer. This is meant to get your juices flowing, all right? So now I'm going to play this, and I got the audio off, but I want to set this up properly. So this guy is, I know he's exuding masculinity. I mean, like, the toxicity of this testosterone, you're almost catching it. I know. Wait till you hear I turn the audio on. But this is all about body cams. And this is a lefty, and you know how the lefties feel about some body cams. They are required to stop the abuses of police brutality across the entire nation. They are the cure-all. Until they're not, in which the narrative shifts, and then they're a propaganda tool. I know. Trying to catch these people's narratives is like trying to catch air in a net. It's just very, very difficult. But anyway, here we go. I've set it up enough. You guys can imagine what his voice sounds like. I know it's probably going to be like mine. Yeah, it's not.
Low information people in the public to well-meaning liberal people will market it as accountability and transparency. And so they totally shift it, and then they were able to get hundreds of millions of dollars toward their goal of outfitting every single cop in the United States with a mobile surveillance camera that the police control. They control when it's on, when it's off, what it captures. When something is captured, it's released to the public. So if the police capture, let's say, an undocumented immigrant committing some crime, that's out on Fox News and the New York Post within hours. But if they capture the police doing something horrific, the public may never see that video. So body cameras are a mirage. And as I write in the propaganda book, and it's really critical to understand exactly how it happens, not only do they not reduce police violence, but they have been an essential propaganda tool in convincing so many well-meaning people across our society that the authorities care about police violence, that they want accountability, that they're doing something, right? And it distracts people from the core, important kinds of changes that we need, which is to reduce the size and power of these bureaucracies.
There it is. Always wait till the end. They always let it slip out at the very end. Now, I'm going to have a whole lot of fun with this in about a second, but the big payoff there was the very end. But really, the end goal here, it's all about shrinking those bureaucracies. Yeah, translation. It's all about defunding police. Again, I showed you in an earlier video where the socialist Kami Mandami, socialism with a smile, was like, well, we're not going to do any kind of cuts to all of our entitlement programs. We just don't have $10 billion. So we're going to have to work on a chief savings officer, and then we're going to have some sunsetting of inefficiencies in order to reimagine the relationship. I mean, y'all, these things actually work against these people. But anyway, let's get back to homeboy, testosterone on parade. So a big thing that this guy is saying is something that's very, very controversial in the lefty world. Because we were told, you and I, and let me hear you in the comments in the chats, but to me, I seem to remember around that whole defund the police and reimagining policing that the left was so big on. I remember them saying body cams were a must because it'll capture all of those evil doers and evil bad deeds that the police are doing. Then, when the body camera footage started coming out and saying that, yeah, all of your propagandistic lies are just that, lies, because the actual footage of which you required us to put on the police officers are disproving your entire point. Now, they're a propaganda tool. Excuse me. They're a propaganda tool. They're doing Mickey Mouse. Huh? Oh boy, they're just propaganda. I mean, like, what? Can you guys stick with a narrative for 3 seconds? Maybe 5. Like, just, I mean, please. I mean, goodness gracious. But this is going to come back here in a second, but I thought that was a really good opener because what was essential for transparency and power over the police and shrinking the bureaucracies is now a propaganda tool used by the police to convince well-meaning people that police are not here to kill you. I mean, my God in heaven. Anyway, let's keep on going. Let me know what you guys thought of my Mickey Mouse impersonation. Oh. Patrick Parker, $5 with a super chat. What do you think about body cams on feral agents? I mean, like, it sure seems to be disproving a whole lot of lefty claims left and right. So, like, just saying. All right, let's keep on trucking. But luckily, I don't have to make policy. This one's for the ladies. All right, ladies, listen. This one goes out to you guys because a big part of our viewership base is female. And I've said multiple times, I'm actually going to do an intro on this properly. Oh, it'll catch up. I'm going to do an intro on this in the proper fashion. So one of the biggest respect points that I have is for women, especially conservatives and Republican women, because you guys are under the biggest individual pressure across all the spectrums. Because you're meant to not only have a job and be your own career boss and be your own career babe, you're meant to not become subservient to a patriarchy through marriage. You are meant to not have children because it destroys your body and it makes your body someone else's thing. It's a weird thing. And then at the same time, you're meant to do all these things except not be traditional. Because if you do any of those things traditional-wise, you're betraying femininity. Okay? So I have tremendous respect for women, particularly on our side of the aisle, because they are under the most pressure. In fact, I'll be honest with you, between you and I, to the lefties, anyone who happens to wander in, if you thought the men on the conservative and the Republican side were a challenge, you don't want to get to the women. Fair warning. Just saying. Let me hear in the comments in the chats if you guys know what I'm talking about. But let's get into this. I want to show you this real quick. Oh, goodness. All right, people, listen. This is something that I find absolutely fascinating. You know that thing that I show you guys all the time? And this one goes out to the ladies, by the way. That's all about the ladies on this segment. You know that thing that I tell you guys all the time about they're not getting the electoral college votes on the left? No, like 2030 is going to come around. They're taking electoral college votes from the blue states. They're giving them to red states because the population moved. And then I told you that they're going to lose representation in the House as well. And it's going to be a decades-long issue, and everyone's sounding the alarm on the left. Well, this is the other piece to that puzzle. And shout out to the women on the conservative side and of this viewer base, because y'all are the ones that are going to genetically kick the crap out of the people who want to destroy our country. A partisan fertility gap has emerged and seems to be growing. Conservatives have more children than liberals. They also are more likely to marry and marry younger. While Democrats are increasingly the party of the childless, ours are increasingly the party of parents. And that's the big thing that I want to shout out to the ladies, to be quite candid, because you're overcoming the propaganda. You're basically propagating the next generation that's going to continue the fight to kick the lefties out of our country and their mind virus to the proverbial dustbin of history, just through your natural biological inclinations to reproduce. Because they aren't. They're losing voters to other states that are red. They are not reproducing it all because it's somehow an anathema to the leftist feminist mindset and mind virus. And then on the other side, they're losing all their imports, which would be all the immigrants. It's not looking good on Team D. All because we're having babies and they're not. Just saying. Good job, ladies. And this is why, back in the day, about 4 or 5 months ago, I took such a big point to reemphasize this point very much along the lines with Charlie Kirk and Turning Point USA. Get married, have children, build a legacy, pass down your values, pursue the eternal, seek true joy. And as a cited little ad quest, you get to destroy Democrats' ideologies who want to destroy our country, the greatest country that's ever been on the face of the earth. Yeah. It's just an added benefit, but honest to God, this is what's going to happen. We're going to win just through attrition. And I'm here for it. 20, 30 years. This is going to be fun. All right, let's keep on trucking. This other piece is something else you guys need to know about. And if you're a youngin', and by youngin' I mean like 20 to 30, get married, follow Charlie Kirk's example, have children, have a solid foundation, have those children raised up in a solid home, and then send them out to take their part in our culture and our country and our blessings. This is not difficult. Don't fall for the leftist BS. Anyway, the United States is experiencing net negative migration. In just 1 year, nearly 3 million illegal aliens have left the U.S. under the Trump administration's crackdown on illegal immigration. They're not having babies. The people who are existing in blue states are leaving and going to red states. They are not importing voters anymore. How many more red flags do you need to see for Team Blue before you go, oh, snap, that Titanic is going down and going down fast? Just saying. All right, let's keep on going. We're supposed to have a break built in, but I'm going to be honest with you. I don't even need one. We're having so much fun. We got 1,500 people already in here, and we are going to have a great time. I actually had some super chats I got to get to. I hope I got some love from the ladies over there because I love you guys. I think it worked out. All right, here we go. Chad Storms, $2. If body cams make propaganda, I'm against it. Body cams don't make propaganda. Body cams just capture footage. Marsha Willis with a $10 super chat. I'm so glad that Jussie Smollett Omar is okay after taking a hit of apple cider vinegar to her sweater. You know what? We're always about the well-being of everybody, even our political opponents. I love the way you worded that. God bless you, young man. Marry a woman. It's amazing how that's even a controversial statement nowadays. Anyway, let's keep on going. That's our break. We got things to do, people to see. Oh my God, Elizabeth Warren. I forgot she opened this up. All right, so this next segment is going to build on our introduction segment. The one that we were making fun of the low testosterone soy boy extraordinaire, Mickey Mouse voice, little boy wonder. This part is wild to me. You know what? I am going to take that break. Here we go. I got to set this up right. You guys deserve the very best, and I aim to bring the very best. So in order to set this up, I want to just highlight the fact that there was new video footage that dropped with the whole guy who got shot by ICE in Minnesota on Saturday, and it pretty much reverses anything and everything that the Democrats were saying and the liberals were saying and the protesters and the progressives were saying about ICE picked a random guy out of the audience and the random guy who was just standing there, he was shoveling snow to help the orphanage, and then they shot him, that whole thing. Yeah, it turns out that more footage released, shocker among shocks, and he's a perpetual repeat offender of constantly basically assaulting ICE officers. I showed you the clip last night. But now, this is the important piece, and I want to draw this distinction. And if any lefty wanders in here, please, God, listen to this point, okay? Prior to the video that I'm about to show you, it was ICE picked out a guy off the street at random and shot him just because they wanted to because they're Nazi Gestapo thugs. The video I'm about to show you drops, and the narrative immediately reversed. And it immediately reversed so hard that it revealed a pattern that I'm going to show you. But anyway, let's get into that. That's how we set this up. This is Elizabeth Warren, and this is such a good dub over. I didn't make this. This is from an account. Donald Trump reposted it. Mays actually did it. This is an amazing recounting. Watch this, and you just tell me if this is not perfect. Chats, comments, emojis, do all the engagement.
Caring for people was at the core of who he was. He was incapable of causing harm.
Incapable.
Alex carried patience,
all of it,
compassion,
easy,
and calm
for sure,
as a steady light within him. Even at the very end, that light was there.
Was it?
I recognized his familiar stillness and signature calm composure.
That's weird. Just gonna leave that there for a second. Okay, you guys get it. You get the idea. Because this is the way that it works. You open up with something highly emotional, a highly emotional flashpoint, and you build your narrative and you spin your narrative ad nauseum. You throw even more emotions, more expletives. You get as incensed as you possibly can. And then when the narrative shifts, you throw an Uno reverse Yahtzee so hard that you pull the e-brake, you cut a 360, and you just keep on going in the same direction. But it was flashy, right? But this is the entire point. I want to show you the narrative switch because this is how disingenuous these people are. We're going to start with CNN, okay? CNN, and watch her face here, Abby Phillips is very unhappy having to tell you what she's having to tell you because the entire narrative for 5 days was ICE didn't know this guy. He was just an innocent bystander that they just shot and immediately executed, right? That was the whole narrative. Yeah, watch CNN struggle on this.
Getting into a physical clash with federal agents 11 days before he was fatally shot.
No.
The family has confirmed to CNN that the man that you see in this video that was released by the outlet The News Movement is in fact Freddie. He is seen shouting at agents before kicking at their vehicle's taillights. The agents then stop, exit their vehicle, and tackle Freddie to the ground. A struggle ensues.
Wait for it.
But a few minutes later, Freddie gets up, and a gun appears to be tucked into his waistband.
Oh!
Now, it's unclear if the agents noticed it in this altercation, but the agents ended the confrontation there and decided to walk away.
The agents ended the confrontation there and decided to walk away. But that doesn't make any sense because they didn't know this guy. And they shot him because he had a gun. Well, no, he had a gun there. They didn't shoot him there. That's weird. And they shot him because he was completely unknown to them. Well, that's weird. They did know him. The exact same scenario and the exact same thing happened prior. So I guess those narratives kind of went out the window. Okay, well, let's explore this a little bit further. Again, I want to show you the new narrative. Now, this is what progressives do, and this is why I am extremely against them, significantly, because it's all propaganda. It doesn't matter about truth. It matters about emotion and clicks. This guy, Tim Miller. Okay, I don't believe the appropriate punishment for kicking a police car is summary execution via firing squad. What? Okay, maybe some more, and I'll show you that. I'll show you the narrative as it forms. I saw this morning. I literally woke up and I watched this happen. I was like, here we go. So by cursing at armed feds, he deserves to die. Right-wing bootlickers are the most pathetic people on the planet. Did you say that? Did I say that? No, but wait for it. You're going to see the narrative. These are all lefties. So the new argument from the far right, because someone believed to be Petty, that first narrative was that's not really him, it's AI, and then they confirmed it was, and that went out the window. Petty broke a taillight on a government vehicle. Fed agents were justified in shooting him in the back while he was on the ground and disarmed 11 days later. Do I have that right? No, you don't, but it's not about being right. It's about being antagonistic with your post so you get these good click engagements and you get all sorts of good little progressive virtue signal points. What they're trying to do is they're trying to shift the narrative so hard that it almost will break your neck. And here's what I'm trying to illustrate. Because prior to these posts and this video coming out, it was literally ICE picked out a guy at random and they just executed him because they hated him and they just wanted to make an example of somebody. Oh, look. 11 days ago, they knew who he was, and he had a pattern of doing this, and this is something that he clearly was doing in a routine fashion. Just like Renee Good was involved in ICE Watch and all these ICE groups and all these obstructionist groups. And then all of a sudden, oh my God, and you just shot him because you knew him before. Wait a minute. Did you not know him before, or did they know him before? Was he innocently targeted because he was there as a bystander filming and protesting? Or was he targeted because they knew him 11 days prior and now it's a hit? Which one is it? It doesn't matter which one it is because they only want to capitalize on anything to defeat Donald Trump and what they perceive as MAGA. If the truth is MAGA, they want to defeat it. If it's clearly wrong what they're saying, it doesn't matter. They just want to do it. Here's more examples. The gaslighting over this new video from MAGA is so insane. Have I gaslit you on anything? I just showed you the video. They pretend that just because he kicked a car a week before he was killed, that means ICE had the right to kill him. No. Dum-dum. What it means is it points to a pattern of behavior. The reason that the people on the right would spread this out, because the left won't do it because it conflicts with your narrative, is because the people on the right go, hey, all the things that you're lying about aren't correct. Here's an example of a pattern of behavior which shows a mindset and shows an intent, which means to assault and impede officers. But you can't say that because then you're saying that that's okay to kill him 11 days later. Nope. You just jump to that conclusion. That has nothing to do with what anyone has said. What everyone has said is, oh, look, it's obvious this guy was involved in this behavior multiple times. There's a confirmed pattern all on camera. That's not difficult. That doesn't mean he deserved to die 11 days later. It means that he has a pattern of behavior which is obviously in conflict with the narrative they spewed out. But don't worry, I got even more for you. Guys, it's seriously, this is what I do. Oh, they definitely targeted him for assassination. I'm sorry. Did they know him before or did they not know him before? Was he an innocent bystander that they had no idea who was doing nothing, just shoveling snow, and they shot him? Or was he previously known and then he was targeted? Because those two narratives can't work together. They conflict. But it doesn't matter. It's not about truth. It's not about behavior. It's not about accountability. It's about what can my political narrative be? And you'll notice, by the way, since this video dropped, poof, doesn't exist anymore. Jettisoned into outer space. It should be around Jupiter by now. Anyway, I got some super chats to get to real quick, and then I'm going to get right back to that. I saw a couple come in. Hold on a second. Where to go? There we go. Paul Hull, $5 super chat. Moved out of PC and found you on YouTube a week later. Dang nabbit. Well, I'm glad you found me eventually. Goodness gracious. All right, let's keep on going. The signal will not be interrupted. All right, so this one, another lefty. This guy's a little more moderate, so I'm not going to blast him that much. I truly don't understand how this impacts what happened Saturday. Did the fact that he kicked a taillight out 11 days before mean he somehow should have been shot 10 times? Nope, I've already explained it. And anybody who pretends that they don't understand this is really just acting. Just like that woman who called John Thune's office and cried and like wheezed into the voicemail. We covered it last night. It's weird. Adam Kinzinger. This guy's a peach. So evidently, if you kick a taillight, you deserve to be shot. You see that conflation? No one said that, but it doesn't matter. It's all about emotional virtue signaling. Jamie Bunkowitz. This is a far left psycho. That video of Alex Preddy kicking an ICE vehicle's taillight changes nothing. If anything, it just confirms he was more of a badass than I thought. What the hell? What? Republicans against Trump. The Preddy family confirmed the Minnesota Star-Tribune that the footage circulated online is him. As expected, MAGA influencers are trying to spin this as some kind of justification for shooting him. No, not at all. Again, are you building it yet? Are you seeing the narrative that they're building? This footage actually just convinces me that it's more likely that him being killed was premeditated. Okay, guys, was it premeditated or was it not premeditated? What's the narrative flavor you want to do? Because all these accounts all posted this very short interim of time, or not interim of time, that's not the right way to say it. Very short amounts of time between each. And they all did the exact same narrative, almost like it was emailed out. Almost like it was emailed out. And then the story dies and you'll never hear about it again. They care so much until it doesn't benefit them anymore and then it's gone. It's so gross. Same thing. You guys get the idea. And now we're to a break. Goodness gracious. I told you, we got a lot of work to do on these shows. It's a lot of work. We're going to roll up our sleeves and we're going to make this happen. But here we come to another break point. So guys, if you're enjoying the show, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. We are on a quest to save this country from those pesky lefties, the leftivist that we encounter on the daily. So remember, you are deputized in the chat. If you see one roving about, feel free to handle that situation because I can't do it because I'm in front of the camera. But we are on the same team, so make sure you guys are paying attention. Always on unawares for the roving lefty. All right, so hit that subscribe button, hit that subscribe, like, share, notification, lazy, couch, crumbs. Yeah, you get it. Okay, we're gonna keep on going. Man, I'm feeling kind of fun tonight. Who's up for some betrayal? Boop. There you go. Oh man, I am so ready for the fallout for this. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, guys, listen. I told you last night that there was going to be a brewing revolt coming in the Democrat Party and that the Democrats were going to screw the Democrat voters because they can't do what the progressives want. The progressives want them to completely demolish ICE and revoke ICE's existence and revoke all their funding, and they can't because it's already written into law and it's been voted on and it's been passed and it's in the big beautiful bill until 2029. You know, facts are really inconvenient when you're dealing with, emotional lefties. But that's the reality. They're funded through 2029. So what they're going to do is they're going to try to adjust a few things of like, oh, are we going to have these warrants? Are we going to drop the face cam covers? Are we going to have body cams? Like all these little things that the left doesn't want. The left wants them gone. But the Democrats in power who live in a somewhat world of reality have to go, yeah, that's not going to happen. It's already funded. So here's the best I can give you. And they're going to be pissed. Here you go. Watch. They are working with the White House. First Tom Homan working with Tim Walz, and now Chuck Schumer working with the White House. Oh my God, clutch your pearls. Breaking, White House and Senate Democrats discussing a stopgap for DHS and the passage of 5 other spending bills would avert a shutdown and cause a mess in the House. Admin wants a deal. What you need to know. You know what that means, guys? Come here. Big time right here. That means the Democrats capitulate and fold over a barrel just like Tim Walz did. Because the far left want the Democrats to shut down the government. They would be perfectly fine if the government was shut down for 4, 5, 3, 8 years. Doesn't matter. As long as Donald Trump is out of power, they don't care. But they want them to shut down the government over this ICE thing when they physically can't do it because the money's already appropriated. So now they're doing stopgap measures, which means a continuing resolution, which is the same thing I showed you last night that Angus King was talking about. When you start to hear words like continuing resolution and other trial balloons and other things that they're going to float out there, that's what they're doing. They're floating things out because they're basically telling their base, like, what you want is a bit of a reach. Here's what we got for you. And then you get the Democrats in the White House negotiating to avoid another shutdown because they all know it's terrible for everything. Remember that whole shutdown was won by the Democrats and Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries are champions and the world is amazing? Yeah, you'd think they'd want to do it again if it worked. But it didn't. So now they're partnering, and this is where it starts to fall apart for the lefties. So Chuck Schumer and the White House are moving closer to a deal to pass a government funding package and a short-term funding measure for DHS to allow the negotiation over reforms. This after Dems this week pledged to block any ICE funding without an agreement on DHS reform. So they backed off. They said, yeah, our progressive base doesn't want us to vote for them at all, so we're not gonna. Hey, White House, can we not vote on these? Maybe just do a continuing resolution, buy us like 2-3 weeks, please. And that's what they're gonna do. That's where it's going to go. This government shutdown, the deal will probably happen tomorrow. They're going to put in amendments, and then you're going to see the entire thing. I'll tell you, I'll let you know what you need to know. But this is what's happening. The far left is about to have an out-of-body experience because of this guy again. There's a deal in place between Chuck Schumer and the White House to pass government funding bills and separate DHS funding from package per sources. DHS would get a 2-week continuing resolution under the deal, giving these sides room to negotiate changes to ICE, etc. Lawmakers finalizing plans to pass this thing tonight and get out of D.C. Come here. Are you fully ready for the progressive meltdown on X and all the different platforms? Because it's coming. You remember like a week ago, we were talking about a bleak blizzard that was coming across the United States. This is kind of the same thing. Progressives are like in the big cloud system. They're the cold front coming through, and they're about to just unleash all kinds of ice, ironically, all over the whole nation. They're about to be really pissed because they're going to lose again. I mean, I'm here for it. I'm just telling you that they're going to do a partnership deal, and they're going to do a continuing resolution, and then they're going to bail out of D.C. That's what they do. It's their standard operating procedure. And here we go. Senate GOP leaders have hotlined new funding agreement, 5 funding bills paired with 2-week CR for DHS. Amendment requests are expected to roll in. And this is happening as we are doing this live stream. So this is not conjecture. This is where it's going. This is what they're going to do. And they're going to fund the Department of Homeland Security for 2 weeks while they work on a new way to say, how can we adjust this? And then everything will blow over and then they'll be fine, we're not going to. That's what you're looking at. The Democrats are actively screwing their far left base and saying, read between the lines, here's what we're going to do. That's what you're watching happen in real time. The meltdowns are going to be glorious. I will absolutely cover them because I think they deserve every second of coverage on the planet. But anyway, that's what you're seeing. It is actively happening. I'm about to show you some fallout in a second. Once I get through with some super chats, because I owe each and every one of you the attention you deserve for your super chats. Paul Hull with a $5. That's an old one. Sorry, hold on a second. I might have just almost been able to read another one twice. Oh man, it needs to be on pay-per-view. That's hilarious. All right, I don't have another super chat. I lied. Duplicated one. Sorry. Someone just said, where do I get my sources? It's all available in the comments field or the description box right down there. I source every single thing, so there's no confusion, and you can be empowered to find the same content yourselves. All right, guys. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on, comments, chats, emojis, make the entire world go round. Kick that notification bell off his mom's couch. Tell him to go do something. Let's get it. How about some lefty reactions? Now, this guy is wackadoodle leftist. Like every other good socialist, he's of course a millionaire and he brings in $1 million a month online through all of his social networks. So that obviously means he has to be a far left socialist because, socialism's bad for the rich if you're not one of them. Anyway, the closer we get to the deadline, the smaller the asks get. Democrats are so effing incompetent, they're playing the appeasement game with the fascists. See how this works? Whoa, that was very loud. I need to turn that off. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. See the game? This whole game. In fact, I'm going to turn that down just in case. That's not getting crazy. That was extremely loud. So now they're starting to freak out. It's going to happen. This is literally like, this isn't even a question. This is more reliable than the weather forecast. The Democrat Party had the base, plus moderates, plus independents, plus moderate Republicans behind them on policy for once. And Schumer has signaled willingness to negotiate, and they are crumbling like dominoes. We need to stop re-electing people who can't actually stand up. It's starting. And you want to know what made him say that? Pablo's little tweet right there. Tina Smith, Democrat from Minnesota. You know, the same woman that I showed you a video of 2 nights ago saying that nothing's changed in ICE and actually they're just doing a pump head fake. Yeah, that woman. Yeah, she supports a 1-week continuing resolution to keep negotiating policy changes. Oh my God. Oh my God. Get worked a little harder. You know, honest to God, and this is something that always amazes me. And this is just a moment between you and I. This amazes me beyond belief. Donald Trump and MAGA and the Republicans and everyone in the administration simultaneously are the stupidest people. Okay, I'm going to turn that off because it's going to be a good little segment and I'm just going to ruin it if I don't turn it off. Hold on a second. Sweet Lord. All right, we are off. Okay, so what was I saying? Yeah. Simultaneously, the Trump administration, Trump, every Republican, you guys watching this, you're all absolute morons, buffoons. You couldn't find your way out of a brown plastic or a brown paper bag. You're that stupid. I'm that stupid. We're all that stupid. At the same time, we're evil geniuses who keep on defeating the Democrats because we're so pesky and wily. I mean, like, it's just like the narrative with the whole shooting in ICE. They didn't know him. He was innocently shot, and now they knew him, and he was targeted for assassination. Like, which one is it? For the love of God, a little consistency. All right. Anyway, let's get back to this. I got a couple super chats real quick. I saw 2 new ones this time. That was real. All right. RSP driver with the $4.99. What if sanctuaries were a long play with the Hispanic community as pawns? They are a long play with the Hispanic communities as pawns. It's not what if. That's exactly what they were doing. 100%. All right, I got another one. Mike Yu with a $4.99. What will the libs do when another shutdown fails, when Trump makes them eat the words and BS again? Oh, there's going to be meltdowns, and it's going to be online. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm just saying. By the way, a lot of you guys keep on saying bananas and rice are done, talking about that woman who got arrested. That story just doesn't appeal to me. I don't know why. I'm like, it just doesn't appeal to me. I kind of wish it did. It just doesn't. Anyway, let's keep on going. Got things to do. Very important things. Now, this one I find interesting. Who ordered the rhino? Well, we got one anyway. All right, Lindsey Graham. He's very rhino-y. We all know it, but I got to show you something he's going to say. Just forgive me. But he's talking about something here about passing a law that's fully banning sanctuary cities and making it a federal crime. Now, the interesting thing about this was what was in Trump's demands. Democrats pass laws that say sanctuary cities are illegal. They are illegal. They are unconstitutional. It's very clear you're in violation of federal law. But now let's codify that bad boy. There's a lot of things that go into that, and we'll walk you through A, B, C of it. But now let's hear from Rhino extraordinaire Lindsey Graham, and let's see what he has to say, and then we'll kind of just navigate as it comes forward.
That's what this is about. No more Laken rallies. President Trump and I are never going to let that happen again. I don't mind trying to make ICE better. I don't mind having some reasonable reforms and learning from the mistakes. But here's what I'm telling my Democratic friends. That's a Band-Aid. The cancer is the sanctuary city policy adopted by 12 states that creates chaos for the rest of the 38. Yeah. So here's some news. I just concluded a deal with the White House to come up with a sanctuary city bill that would end sanctuary city policy forever. How? I will make it a federal crime for a state or local official to defy federal law on immigration. So going forward, if my bill passed, these mayors and these governors who defy federal law that have been on the books for 30 years could go to jail. If you want to change sanctuary city policy, you got to hold those accountable who ignore federal law. So to Hakeem Jeffries and all the liberals on your side of the aisle, that's what this is.
This is the most beautiful part. And I'm going to break down this in a second, but I have to address something that's happening in the chat right now. This one I actually am going to fully enjoy. The spamming of impeach Trump over and over and over again is really, really awesome for the algorithm. I'm just letting you know, the more that happens, the more that this message on this video distributes out to more and more and more people, because the algorithm says, hey, look, he's getting lots of engagement in a very short amount of time. So by all means, keep on copy pasting. Honest to God. Keep on doing it. All right, for those of you who are watching the show, this is amazing. I mean, seriously, the boosting is incredible right now. But here's the thing with the sanctuary cities. In order to codify a law like this, you can't do it without Democrats. You just simply can't. That's the objective real world scenario. Oh, hey, would you look at that? I said it helps the stream and he stopped. That's so weird. So weird. Oh, anyway, you can't do it without the help of the Democrats. And are the Democrats going to vote a law into existence that's going to say, oh, yeah, sanctuary cities are illegal when it's one of the core tenets of their personalities? Probably not. However, is it politically beneficial for them to do it? Yeah, probably. But Lindsey Graham here, he's got a good point with the sanctuary cities being the catalyst and the main issue. But is it going to pass law? I'd be shocked if it did. There'd be a massive upheaval. But it is amazing. You guys are having fun over in the chat. You're taking your deputized responsibility seriously, and I love it. I thought I saw a super chat come in. No, I didn't. It was just more funny stuff over here. Guys, I am loving every second of this little chat fight over here. You guys are giving me life in this chat. I might just stay here for a second just to watch the chat. This is incredible. Oh, man. It really is great watching them do that, because when they do that spam stuff, all they do is further the message. I mean, it's literally like every single time Command C and Command V and Enter happens, they're just cutting their own tree down. Like, whatever. I don't care. It's amazing. Keep it going, baby! But that's what I've got for you guys. That was an amazing boost at the end of the stream. Thank you so much, Lefty, roving Lefty out there. You're boosting up the numbers, the engagements, the chats, and the comments towards the end of the stream, which means the algorithm's going to go, ooh, something great happened. So you just keep doing that. Everyone else with a normal functioning brain cell, stay out there, stay frosty, keep passing the freedom along to the next generation. Ladies, keep on raising the next generation. You guys are the baseline that gives us life into the next generation to continue the fight. I respect the hell out of the ladies. Particularly, I respect the hell out of all of you as well. And of course, I love each and every one of you just the right amount. Make sure you're here tomorrow where we continue to drive home this freedom, cut through the fog of propaganda, and distribute freedom on the daily. Like Johnny Appleseed, but only in a digital format. I love each and every one of you just the right amount. I'll see you on the next one. I'm Braden.